So I'd like for you to just pause for a minute and think of some of the most memorable moments of your life. What were some of the happiest and unforgettable experiences, or perhaps a particular period of your life that you would not trade for anything? Now, many of you might be thinking of your wedding day or the birth of your child, especially your first child, who you probably wished at that time would remain a cute baby forever. Well, maybe it was a time that you went away to college and finally got a sweet taste of freedom or independence from mom and dad. Your world suddenly opened up and you were exposed to new ideas and experiences that made you a well-rounded and more mature young adult. Or how about the first time you visited your favorite destination? Like maybe, I don't know, Paris or Barcelona or Disneyland, and it was everything that you expected and more. Or how about the time that you actually got to see Taylor Swift in concert? Any of you are lucky enough to have seen her in concert? Or for those of us who are perhaps more advanced in years, probably the time you saw Frank Sinatra, or the Beatles, or Diana Ross, or the Bee Gees, but I can go on and on, or ABBA in concert. I mean, those are great times, If you ever get a chance to see your favorite singer or band, I mean, it's a great feeling. And by the way, no offense to Taylor Swift, I do love her music. And I love her. She's just a normal kid, a good Christian, by the way. Just a normal, not a perfect person by any chance, but she's just a normal girl that you could just sit and have just a nice conversation with, A good Christian, by the way. But, again, no offense to her, but I think if I had a choice, I'd rather go see the Pope and just sit down with Pope Francis, or any Pope, Pope Benedict, but Pope Francis, just to have coffee with him and just talk. Not necessarily, do like a deep theological discussion, but just have a nice, normal chat with Pope Francis. That's really something. Okay, if I really had to choose a great moment, okay, that would be being in the same room with Pope Francis and Taylor Swift. There you go. I mean, that's when we're having the best and most glorious time, we never want it to end, right? We don't. I mean, who likes bad times? We like good times, and we want good times to just never end. And that's exactly how Peter was feeling in today's dramatic story of the Transfiguration. He did not want the experience to end. You see, Peter, let me just recap this, along with James and John, they witnessed something truly incredible on a mountain to where Jesus had taken them to pray. And while they were praying, Peter, James, and John suddenly saw their friend Jesus in a way that they had never seen him before. Jesus' face began to shine like the sun, and his clothes were like white light. He was in some glorified and dazzling and divine-like state that no mortal man had ever seen. On top of that, he was accompanied by and conversing with two of the true giants of the Jewish faith, Moses and Elijah. And as if that wasn't enough, from the clouds came a voice that said, "This is my beloved Son, with whom I am well pleased. Listen to him." Then the voice declared Jesus as the Son of God. What a moment. Without question, this was an unbelievable and life-changing moment for the three disciples. So much so that Peter wanted to prolong this glorious event that he was witnessing. He said, "Lord, it is good that we are here. If you wish, I will make 3 tents here, One for you, one for Moses, one for Elijah. He just could not contain himself. I mean, let's face it. Who of us would have wanted to step away from such an incredible experience? Who of us would have wanted to come down from that mountain and have to face all the difficulties and disappointments of life? If we were the disciples, would we honestly go back to our day-to-day drudgery, especially after that glorious experience? Probably not. If we're having the best time or the best moment in our life, we want it to last forever, as I just said earlier ago. Do we realize, by the way, that the church gives us a mountaintop experience all the time? Yep. Our mountaintop experience comes in the form of a beautiful and precious treasure we call the Mass. In the sacrifice of the Mass are mysteries that are meant to truly awe us, inspire us, and give us a glimpse into the very life of God, allowing us to commune with Him in an intimate way. I don't think many of us would be here week after week after week if we did not get to experience a little bit of the divine each time that we come through those doors and gather in faith. These small, grace-filled moments are small transfigurations that draw us closer to God in all His glory. Yet, as important as it is to be at Mass, as great as it is to bask in God's glory, we cannot remain on this mountaintop forever. Jesus Himself tells us that we mustn't linger on our mountaintop experience. What am I saying? Well, in other words, we cannot use the church's liturgical and devotional life to sort of escape or hide from the world or from our responsibilities. When we go to Mass, we are actually given a mission to go out and live the gospel. True faithfulness is not about staying on the mountaintop. It's about willing to come down from the mountain, roll up our sleeves, and be actively engaged in the Lord's work on earth. Mountaintops are not meant to be a destination, because in the valley below are needs to be met. People who are suffering and people who need to be pointed to Jesus. So when you leave Mass today, go on a mission. Care for someone with special needs. Be a good listener to someone suffering from depression. Be present to them and be a positive influence. Support families who have financial or material needs. Volunteer your time helping the homeless or the refugees. Share a cup of coffee with a neighbor you've never met. Make friends with that new couple who recently moved into your neighborhood and doesn't know the gospel. And show them, by example, the ways of Jesus. There are no boundaries on where or how we can serve. We just gotta go out there. As good as it is to remain in this holy place, we eventually must make our exit. And once we do, remember that we have the power to transfigure and transform our world into a beautiful and glorious place it can be.
Thank you for participating in this production of our virtual Mass. Your presence means so much. Every day, so many parishioners connect to OLPH through the digital ministry. The digital ministry is one of almost 80 ministries supported by the parish. That's why your support of the parish is crucial, so we can continue to have the resources to fund all of our ministries that touch the lives of many. Thank you for watching, continue to watch, and thanks again for your support.